So, we all survived the Turkocalypse. It seems that hundreds of thousands of turkeys can't say the same thing. It turns out that tryptophan or tryptoline, I think it's tryptophan, isn't a real thing and doesn't make you tired. Some of you aren't ready to go back to school yet. Say it ain't so. And it's raining in New England. Surprise. This is Eric Allen, and this is College Success Coaching. Let's get started. All right, so welcome back to all of you. Some of you who are already back to school on this fine, cold day, and some of you who are not yet back are sending me messages saying things like, I am not ready to go back, and I don't want to go back, and it's not time, is it? Yeah, it is time, and I'm sorry to say it's time to get back into it, but no need to get into school with the blues, all right? You're here, we're starting things off right at the beginning of the week, and we're going to have fun with it. So make sure that you strap in for this one because we're going to go over some interesting things, including a scholarship for somebody who's just doing it right. And we're going to talk about some more of your questions as we go through the live stream. But before we do all of that, we, of course, have to say hello to the mug of the week. This week's mug is a composition book. I got this while I was writing so that, I stay sane because obviously it's going to keep me composed. I let that sink in real hard right there. It's a great mug. It really is. I'm interested in mugs like this. I got a couple from the same company. It is from Out of Print, which was established in 1984, a great year. And it is partially the money that goes from these mugs goes to proceeds related to improving literacy. So I'm big on that because knowing how to read is awesome. All right, so glad to have everybody here. It is important that we try to get back and shake off some rust and shake a lot of turkey off. A lot of turkeys died. Like, look up the statistics. There were hundreds of thousands. And apparently Californians, you guys, you do it the worst. You kill the most turkeys out of anybody in the country. I'm not just blaming that on the fact that it's a big state. That's not a good enough excuse. There are other big states that do not kill this many turkeys. All right, I'm done blaming California for the day. So, you know what we should do? We should talk about the article of the week. The article of the week this week is from one of my favorite news sites, usnews.com, for the U.S. News and World Report. And it is about a Columbian high school student who excels with community projects. This is from Lowell, Mass. And I have the link in the description for all of you who are in the YouTubes. So if you're watching this in the YouTuberverse, go ahead and look at that. If you are watching this on the live stream, I have it down there for you. You see where it is. It's in the usual spot. If you're not a subscriber, though, and you're not watching this live, which you're not if you're watching this on YouTube, what are you doing? Why haven't you come on over to the good side, to the light side of the force? We have better mugs than the dark side. We are doing more things every week. We just don't think that doing well is good enough. So we have a group of people here that are like really into doing even better than just well. So if you're interested in joining up with a great community of people who are interested in things like leadership and community and making good connections and just kind of doing life better, kind of like the kid that we're about to go over in this article, if you're interested in that and you want to find out answers to questions that you probably didn't even think to ask and protect yourself from pitfalls that don't seem obvious, come join us. We talk every week about questions and answers and topics that you guys are sending me. And then you can have your individual question answered that helps, other people, hence community. We're also doing great things on college campuses and in high schools in real life, IRL, for all of you people who are not. Wait, if you're watching this, you don't know IRL. Anyway, it's really important that you take a look at the website, www.collegesuccesscoaching.com. You can look at the link in the description. It has the link that just clicks right to the part where you do the subscription service. That's great. I'm really happy to have everybody who's here, and it's great to have more people every day. So looking forward to seeing you on the live stream. I'd love to be able to answer your questions live, but you can always send something in the comments, or you can just email me, eric@collegesuccesscoaching.com. I will do my best to answer your questions, but obviously my subscribers take priority. I can't wait until you're one of them. We'll see you then. All right, so for everybody else, and even my YouTuberverses, we want to get into this article. This is really cool. So this happened, I think, Sunday? It wasn't that long ago. No, this actually just came out today. So in Lowell, Massachusetts, It was 3.5 years ago that Julian Viviscus, help me out, left Columbia and started high school in Lowell. He found himself without a strong community in a country where he only knew the basics of the language. But he built his own community. I like him already. One that's centered on civic engagement. I like that too. Civic engagement's cool. If I had a community back in Columbia, when I came here, I felt like I didn't have it, he said. But I created that community. I helped that community grow. I work with that community to become more engaged. So basically, he did what any of us would do. I mean, if you're here, you want to be part of the community. And let's be real, this is a cool community. But we're building this from scratch because there's nothing like this. And that's what he did. He built something from scratch because he wanted something. He didn't see it, so he made it happen. And that's exactly the kind of person that we have here. And I'm really happy to have everybody who is here because, like, I know that you guys are kind of like this. So I wanted to bring this kid up because he sounds really awesome. And I'd love to have him on here, actually. It'd be great to interview one of us, one of the people who does the things that we do. For his service and overcoming challenges, Viviscus was awarded a $20,000 scholarship by the Massachusetts Mentoring Partnership and the consulting company ALKU. Awesome, right? So scholarship, making money, doing good for himself, doing good for his community, him helping himself and also helping others works together, and it continually spirals him upward. That's exactly what we're talking about when we say, like, doing good but benefiting from it. I mean, that's really the only way that it can work, right? Like, you can't have things that do good but don't have any benefit to you, because eventually you won't be able to continue doing it. So like this, right? Like, we have to do good, and hopefully you are going out and you're doing the things we talk about every week. But, it has to benefit you too. That's your college resume. That's getting letters of recommendation. That's getting credentialing on your college application. That's getting help when you're in need from people in your community that you're kind of just like having a bad time and they help and they come around. And that's me, right? Like, I have to benefit from doing this too, because I need to be able to do this. I want to keep doing it. So that's how this all works. And it's great to see exactly how this bore fruit for this person. So the Lowell High School senior doesn't know what college he wants to attend yet. We need to talk. But he said the scholarship will help pay the bills as he studies journalism and photography. He says he's also considering a major in poli-sci. That's really cool. And listen, seriously, if you're out there, Julian, if you would like to come on here and talk with us or just even become a member, we could really help you out with that whole, I don't know where I want to go to college thing. I mean, you are a senior, so we should probably be working on that. And I'm really excited to be talking to you in the future, potentially. His first year in Lowell High School was challenging as he worked to learn English, getting help from teachers and Google Translate. When you come here, you really don't understand. You're kind of afraid to speak because some people might make fun of you, he said. But that was not the case because I was just making those things up in my mind. Very cool. So congrats to Lowell High School for being welcoming and supportive to somebody who wasn't really able to just pick up the ball and start speaking English as soon as he got here. That's really awesome, actually. As teachers and others helped, English got easier and easier, he said. His sophomore year, he enrolled in an American history class with social studies and English language learner teacher Jessica Lander. I was really struck by how Julian worked particularly hard, Lander said. Well, yeah, I mean, if he came here in 2015, I think it's 3.5 years ago. So yeah, like 2015. He hasn't even been here that long, and he's creating communities and he's, getting awards for college. Like, yeah, he obviously works hard. And that's kind of the thing about getting more than just good, right? Like, you got to work harder than people who do well in order to do better than well. So if you're like us and well is not acceptable, great is not acceptable, doing the best possible requires more work. That's all. But why wouldn't you do it? What else do you have to do? Lander also encouraged him to participate in a summer workshop hosted by the New England High School Journalism Collaborative. The Viviscus worked with others in the program to create a newspaper. He co-wrote a story about sanctuary cities. I just kept writing a lot, he said. Then he turned his attention to the since-passed bill to improve civics education in the state. He spoke with representatives at the State House, urging them to support the bill, and followed up with a personal essay published by WBUR on the impact of his own civics education. Many people wonder how they can address how they can address affecting their communities. Vaviscus wrote, I'm just going to say Vaviscus, even though I don't think that's right. Vaviscus wrote in his piece to WBUR, I was lucky. In a classroom at my high school, I learned how to create real community change. So, like, here's another just quick pitch for civics. Like, if you don't have a civics class in your school, try to find out how to start one. Talk to your American history teacher. Talk to the social studies department at your school. Civics is so important, and what he's talking about, civic engagement, is not just a cool, good thing. It's actually technically your responsibility. It's a moral duty. So yeah, civics is great, and we really should be doing it. So please consider having a civics class if you don't have one. If it is an elective, please take it. It's awesome to learn about how this place was made, how this place was built, your community was built, how your state was made, how all the things in your state and your city and your town work. It's really neat. And to find out how you can make a difference and make a change, what you realize is it doesn't take an awful lot, number one, to make a lot of changes, like to really see visible changes. The second thing you see is there's not a whole lot of people standing in line to do the work required to change things. So when you're one of the few people who says, I'm going to actually make something happen, and you put some work behind it, you create some content, you make a huge difference in a very short period of time. So really, I mean, this is a great testament to that. Last summer, Vaviscus participated in a program for teachers leading 8th grade civics courses. He was one of the 9 students across the state chosen by the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education to speak to the teachers. He also went to Miami last year to speak as part of a panel of 2 superintendents about civics and his experiences. He went from being a leader in a class to being a leader in trying to advocate for change in our community to a leader advocating for change in our state, said Lander. All the more incredible because he is an immigrant and really embracing his new community. So he became a huge asset to a community that he was new to. I mean, like, helpful hint, if you want to move into a new place, or if you're kind of stuck moving to a new place, because I'm assuming if you guys are moving to a new state, it's because, you know, your parents moved you. A quick way to love where you live is to put in and invest in where you live. It's not long before people start to recognize you and they like you because you're the one that does X. You're the one that helped Y. You're the one that made this happen. You're the one that saved this. You're the one that kept this store open or this business going. Like, doesn't take long. There's going to be a lot of people that like you. Again, better than great. That's better than great. She sees the potential of a person, he said, because he's talking about Lander. Lander told Vaviscus about the scholarship opportunity through Mass Mentoring Partnership, an organization dedicated to expanding and empowering youth-adult relationships. They thought it would be a reach for Vaviscus, but Vaviscus was selected from over 100 applicants for the award. That's another thing. Always apply to scholarships. Like, I know that this is like, if you're watching this as one of my freshmen, I know that this is like seemingly a long ways away, but looking ahead to requirements for scholarships, especially the big ones, like this is a big fish. A $20,000 scholarship is a big kahuna. Please look at that now. Look at the requirements because, you know, maybe there are only 100 people up for that scholarship. And what if, just saying, you found out about some of these great scholarships through your school or through your town. Towns and cities often have great scholarships, but even on the state level, there's a lot of times scholarships that only 100, 200 people apply to. Like, if you applied to 10 or 12 of those, you have a pretty good chance of getting one of them or a couple of them. So look into that now. It makes more sense. If you're looking ahead and you're already looking at me to look ahead, this is what I'm telling you to look ahead at. So go ahead, look at that. It's important to know what these scholarships require and to make sure that you're a clear candidate for that. That being said, it's great that this person didn't do this for the scholarship. He just did it because he wanted to have a place that was, you know, accessible for him and that had all the benefits that he was looking for in his community. But, you know, at the end of the day, it really helps to have a scholarship. Like, it just really does. You know, there's no real, I can't see an argument against that. So Julian's story embodies the type of supportive relationship that we are looking to ensure that every young person has access to in Massachusetts, said Lily Mendez, president and CEO of Mass Mentoring Partnership. Should talk to them too, shouldn't I? Vaviscus will be presented the award on November 28th in Boston at the annual Cheers to Mentoring event. And again, that's the online link to that. So, all right, great. So what did we learn? We learned that this particular person wanted to see changes in their community, and he was willing to do some extra work, and he was excited about learning the language of the new place that he was at. He made those changes. He became a fixture. He became a leader, And now he ends up with a nice scholarship on his hands and a nice article written about him. Honestly, that's good publicity. So nicely done, Julian. You're on your way, and we'd love to have you here again. That would be great for you. Just check out the website, collegesuccesscoaching.com, in case you were wondering. Anyway, this has been the article of the week.